And from inside the inner courtyard of that mandala, right in the very center of the vessel of the heart, we might say that two pathways present themselves that we've been speaking about, each a vital portal into the totality, into the divine garden where the lapis, where the stone awaits. There's the ascending aspect of the path, the movement upward into clarity, into enlightenment, into transcendence, the archetypal journey from here to there, from density to the light, from the leaden to the golden world, the evolution of matter, from matter to living body, to symbolic mind, to luminous soul, to pure spirit, an utterly valid and required journey, one to be honored and respected. And there's also the path of descent, of the descending current, which isn't organized so much around a solar clarity, a rising movement upward, up and out, relief. But it's a lunar drop into the body, into earth, into feeling, into imagination. It's not a climb to the top of the mountain, to use that imagery, but a descent into the valleys of the soul, into the spirit buried in matter. How it is that God or the divine or the beloved or pure consciousness is going to incarnate or embody through us as its vessel or its vehicle. It's not so much about how to get from here to there, which the spiritual path can so often be organized that way. But how is there going to find its way here? That involutional journey out of absolute consciousness or pure spirit into luminous soul, through symbolic mind, living body, into matter itself. And seeing this entire world, this watery, earthy world with its essence pouring itself out of itself, unfolding its body here into the world of time and space. And so these two paths, of ascent and descent, ascending and descending currents are also manifested within the human body. I'm sure some of you yogis out there are familiar with this in your practice, or others if you're familiar with the idea and experience of the subtle body in yoga, the Ida and Pingala, prana, bindu, nadi, or in Tibetan, Sa Lung Tiklay. Obviously, if none of that has any meaning for you, please discard it. It's not really important. But just as a point of reference, if you live in that sort of reality. And what is important is honoring these two movements within us. That solar path of ascending and also the lunar path of descent. And including both, honoring both. And that the path of embodied individuation and healing is not only a journey upward into spirit, into light, but also one of downward descent into matter, into body, into Gaia, into the darker shades of the emotional and somatic imaginal spectrum, into what Jung called the dark side, the darker side of the self, which we see imaged in alchemy all the time. For example, as the image or the symbol of the black sun. Because what can happen, and this does happen quite a lot in my experience and is really natural and understandable, is that in our focus on that upward current into light, into transcendence, into clarity, into knowing, we can become disconnected from the more dimly lit areas of the psyche, of the body, of the soul, and how the divine or the beloved is unfolding itself into form, into matter, and that each of these movements is equally holy, as an equal manifestation of the beloved here. And in this way, oneness and unity are no more holy than multiplicity and differentiation. Each are equal arrows in her quiver. And the shadow side of spirituality, especially a transcendent type of spirituality, or what can remain in the shadow of the spiritual seeker, is what's always already here, that is not the product of completing some mythical search and is not the product of a seemingly unending project of self-improvement.